Welcome everybody to this webinar, and we're going to talk about how you can work smarter on using your Eurocard and doing your expense management. So this will focus on a live demo showing you how it exactly works. Tove is with me. Tove is from Finland and from Eurocard. Will you introduce yourself, Tove?
Hello.
And my name is Carsten, and I'm from Cardlay, and we are the software house that has developed the solution. So I will show you how it works. Let's get going. The agenda that we have for this webinar is this one. So we will start just focusing on what is it all about. I will show you the full process, and then the main part of the webinar will show the product. So I will take a real expense and process it and show it how it works for the full flow through the system. We've planned this to take 35 to 40 minutes, and we will leave a few minutes for questions, but please feel free to ask questions using the Q&A and the chat function on the way. I will also briefly touch on the possibility to get the VAT refund when you're traveling. We know that you're not traveling very much right now, but it will get going again in the future. So this is a possibility you should be aware of.
And also that the ones who didn't join later here, we don't have your email addresses. So if you want us to be in touch with you later, to send you the recording or anything, please write your emails down, either the chat box or the Q&A, and we'll take them down so that we can contact you.
Yeah, good. So this is what it's all about. It's first of all, it's a plug and play solution, so nothing has to be installed on your local IT. Everything is done by downloading and accessing online. The most important thing I want to mention here is that the app is integrated with the transaction of the credit card. So just when you pay with your Eurocard anywhere, the data is captured by the app instantly. So I usually joke that we have the data in the app before you have the receipt in your hand. And this is very, very important point, because this makes it possible for the employee to process the expense right at the purchase place. So before leaving the tank station, before leaving the restaurant, it's possible to do the expense reporting. Other key benefits and takeaways is that we give you the access to these data, so you don't have to re-enter them. The employee doesn't have to re-enter them. The manager doesn't have to. The accounting team doesn't have to. So this is taking the data from the expense transaction and taking all the way to the accounting system. And then just to mention this VAT, I'll come back to that in the end, but there are some money, 10 to 15% of your direct travel expenses is possible to get back if you use our system, but I'll mention that in the end. So this is the process that I will show you in a few minutes. I'll show you that I've used my Eurocard, and I will have my app open and show you the expense, the data that I've got from the payment I've made. I'll process it as an employee, and then I'll pass it on to the portal. Then we'll go into the portal and have a look at some of the expenses in there. I'll show you how the manager will approve, how the accounting team will control and check, maybe even change, and then I'll export the expenses to the accounting system. And then again, as a bonus, you can possibly take this data and use it to reclaim your VAT from the other countries. This is the process. And of course, there are exceptions and a lot of things that can be done in other ways, but I'll show you the main process today. That's what we have time for. And then if anybody have questions, we can reach out to you afterwards and ask any special questions there. Tove, anything I've forgotten?
But no, just thinking of the app itself, we are in a situation that Eurocard has 2 apps out there in the App Store. So if you wonder which one is the one that is suited for this one, and it's actually called Eurocard Pro. So the app is for companies who have large established travel expense management systems, such as like Acubis or Visma or Busware or something like that. So Eurocard Pro is the one that you should be downloading, and it's free. And you can download it anyway. If you have a Eurocard, just download it. There's a lot of good functions in that app that you could use even now, even though you don't have this expense management system. So just download it because it's a security issue also. It's good for you.
Right. Thank you, Tove. And I will now try to see if I can move to...
Now this is where everybody crosses their fingers.
Yeah, I'll show you my phone. So
hey, good.
You see my phone right now?
Yes.
Okay, that's perfect. I'll just put it in here so I'll have it in front of the camera. So this is the Eurocard Pro app that I have opened. This is my Eurocard I have up here, and underneath I've got all my transaction. I had to go this morning to buy coffee, so I could show you this, how it works. So this is a transaction from this morning, and I'll just process it as normal. This is our live expense management system. So all these data we see here, that they come from the transaction I made on Circle K, just nearby where I live. So we know it from Denmark. It thinks and guesses on the category. Because I was on a gas station, it thinks it's fuel, but actually I just need to let it know that this was not fuel. This was food and beverage. So, oh, sorry. Where is my food and beverage? I have to go, there it is, sorry, I didn't. And this is for myself, so now I've chosen the right category. And it also guesses the VAT. In Denmark, it's very easy to guess the VAT because it's always 25%. In other countries, it could be very difficult, but or more complicated.
Karsten, we are actually just seeing the screen of the app with we don't see the transaction. Now we see the list of like the first page of your app.
Okay. I'll just try to go back then and click share. Do you see something now?
Yes, now I see it. And okay. Just one more point, there's a lot of my colleagues online, and for some reason you are logged in as me. That's probably my fault. Please everybody mute themselves so that we don't hear you sipping coffee there. Thank you. Left hand somewhere downstairs, down there on the screen, you should have a mute button. Some of you are not muted, so thank you. This is a message for all my
that was important internal message.
Colleagues.
So
yes, now we see it, and you're now adding a comment.
Yes, I'm adding a comment because that's typically what a company wants the employee to do, to tell why did you use money. So this was coffee, and I'll just tell him that that was for, oh, sorry, that was my fingers, coffee for webinar. Then they know why I use this money. But that is the text that the employee puts in to the manager and to the accounting team. And then I just need to take a picture of the receipt, and here is the receipt.
Yes,
and
we see it.
Note that it helps you capture the corners, and then I press OK.
It's a good point to take the picture, the receipt against the darker surface.
Yes, that makes it easier. Yes. Yeah. So this makes it possible for the accounting team and the manager to read the expense. So this is all I need to do. Now I'm actually done as the employee. And now I just want to go and show you, let's see.
And at this stage, if you are in any other country than Sweden, you can actually throw away the receipt. You don't need it anymore. No. So in Sweden, unfortunately, you still have to keep it. So you can you have to then save it I don't know, for
yeah, that's a
centimeters.
Swedish, yeah, Swedish rule still. I know they're working on changing this. So Tove, you see my Eurocard expense manager. So I'll log into that.
So this is the portal, and here you are now going to go in here as a manager, right?
Actually, my role is all of the roles, because I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you everything in here. So I'm both a manager.
But just for sake of going through this, is like you have now submitted your receipt, and now I, as your manager, go in and see. So what have you been spending my money on?
Yeah. This portal is for the managers and for the accounting team, not for the employees. The employees only use the app.
Yes.
So
if you're a card holder, your job is now done.
Yeah.
More or less, unless you entered something wrongly.
Yeah. So this top one, let me just show you. On the left panel here, I have all the card holders of Cardlay. In the top panel, I have the views I can view. And this one on the top here, that was the expense I've just handled, and this is the picture I just took of the receipt I got this morning. So, and now I just need to move you, Tove. You are in the way. So,
sorry.
No problem. So what I want to do now is I want to find some expenses that I can play with. So I'm just going to make a little search here. So I will find some old expenses that we can change and play with. So they're from 25th of November and until the 30th of November. Then I apply this filter. So now I'm looking, this is just a way of filtering in all the expenses. I'm looking at myself, Carsten, over here. These are my expenses. And then I'm looking at all expenses in that short span from the 25th to the 30th of November last year. And this is of course because I want to show you here some different expenses and that we can play with. So if now I'm the manager here and I am a manager of Carsten, I want to check these expenses and see if I can approve them. So actually I can just hover over here on the line, and then I can get a picture of the receipt. I don't have to go in and see everything. Do the same here. That looks fine. That looks fine. Carsten is not spending too much money on something he shouldn't. So let's say I've checked a lot of expenses this way. Now I can approve them in one go. So I'll mark these three and I'll simply approve them with one click here. So now those three expenses are approved by me as a manager. Of course, I could have taken one, opened it, and done exactly the same if that was better for me to do. So now I'll change.
This is what we were discussing in our last webinar. We were discussing this, that in order to save time and all that, you shouldn't focus on very low value. So what you can do is actually search for all transactions which are less than a certain value and just bulk approve them, like parking and stuff like that. Yeah. So saving up time and not going into the nitty-gritty.
Exactly. And now I'm actually, this was the task for the manager to approve the expenses. These expenses were in line with the company policy. You want to say something, Tove?
And now you're changing roles. Now you're changing roles again.
I'm changing roles.
Coming up. Take the hat.
Yeah. Now I'm actually an accountant in the accounting department, and now I'll check these expenses if they are ready to be exported and booked in the accounting system. And I can see the merchant here, I can see the category here, I can see the amount here. So of course I can open, let's do this here, I can open this expense and I can see this is the receipt and this is the data. And actually, and this is not a coincidence, this this expense has a wrong category. I want to change this. This is typically what the accounting team does. They check if everything will go in the right account. So I will change this to food and beverage now, because that's the correct category for these purchases from Lavkagehuset. This was actually cake for the office. So now I've changed, I'll save and close. And yes, I'm happy with that one. I'll just check the two others to see if they're okay. I can do it this way, or I can open them and go in and check everything is okay. Is the VAT okay? Is the category okay? I'm happy with this one. Now, as the controller, I will move these three to the state controlled, because now they are ready to be exported. And as soon as they entered the state control, this button up here started to be yellow, because now I'm able to export these three expenses. And I'll do that. Now we pretend that it's month end or week end, or whenever you want to export these expenses to your accounting system. So I'll click this button. Now these three expenses are included in my export. I could have 100, I could have 500, I could have as many as I wanted. I could have one if I wanted. So I'll creating now an export, and this is Carsten's cake purchase. The name you choose, and you choose the note. This is just for your convenience when you want to find any export again. So this is demo for webinar. And now I'll export these expenses. Now you see every line in here is an export. This is export done by us in our accounting system. And I'll just take and download now the Excel spreadsheet, the CSV file, so I can show you what it looks like. And now I have to change again, otherwise you cannot see. Let me just see here, share.
And to be really clear here, you saw there is this other button there. You showed there says receipts.
Yeah, I can come back.
You can come back. Okay,
good.
Let
me come back, because now you see the Excel sheet, right? So you see the Excel sheet?
Yes.
Yes, good. So this is the Excel or CSV file that is exported. And it's not that we'll go through every data point in this Excel file, but we have taken all relevant fields and exported it so you can take them into your accounting system. And that includes, just to let you, the category, of course, and then the account number that this expense should be booked on in your accounting system. This is one of the most important informations. But let me go back to your question, Tove. So you see again now the...
Yes.
Yes, so the other one here, that's actually the three receipt pictures that corresponds with those three expenses that we exported. So a very good habit for the accounting team would be both to download the Excel file and the receipt zip file and put it in a monthly folder. In that way, you'll have all your receipts stored locally. Of course, you can access them in our system, I think in 3 years, but you need to store them for 5 or 6 years. So this is the way that you bring them down onto your local drive.
And here, I just wanted to just highlight this one. You do not need those files sent to any booking system anymore. You don't need to have the pictures of the receipts with the invoice. The invoice is processed in separate different systems. This is about controlling what you have purchased. So the old way of doing this was you go with the invoice and you have the receipts, and then you take a stapler and you go like crack, and then you give it to somebody and say, here are my receipts. That's the old way of doing this. This is a new process. We are not trying to mimic the old process with the new one. This is the way we do it nowadays. You do not need to put that picture with the invoice anymore.
No.
Heck with your controllers.
Actually, the picture of the receipt is linked to the transaction in the second I take that picture in the app, because I open the transaction and then I take the picture and then they are linked, and that's the trick here. That's a very important trick here. Okay, this was the main process. So we took the expense from the purchase, we handled in the app, I submitted it, I approved it, I controlled it, and even changed one of them, I exported it. So now it can be imported to the accounting system. Of course, there are lots and lots of different accounting systems out there, and we have a few that we have a API integration to. I'll just show you here. So if you're using the economic or the Fort Knox, then the integration is even easier than I just showed you. Then it's not put out in a file, it's simply entered directly into the economic or the Fort Knox. It goes into a journal in there, even with the picture of the receipt, and you can do the booking right away. So are you using economic or Fort Knox? Then it's even easier than I just showed you. Okay, now I'll take you to where you need to do the setup in order to have the right GL references, account numbers on each expense. And it gets a little more complicated now, but hopefully not too much. So this is a list of categories we have in our system, and you can make your own subcategories. I'll show you in a second. But for each category, and let's just take the top one here, car rental and other transport hiring, our accounting department has put in the GL reference, the account number, that these type of expenses should be booked on in our accounting system.
So cardlays.
Cardlay, yes, yes. And this number...
So this is like for your company, this GL reference will be something else.
Yes, this is a unique, typically a very unique number for each company. And of course, it's not that every company has an account or GL reference for each of these categories. So they can, of course, be the same if you, for some reason, book flights and car rental on the same travel account. So that's up to you. We have an accounting code. Let's just look at that also. So this accounting code is something that also goes to the accounting system and is actually created in the accounting system. So this tells the accounting system how to handle the VAT of this expense. These accounting codes are typically used for all domestic expenses, because we do have one code possible if you want to use this. This is used for all non-domestic expenses, and this is because typically all non-domestic international expenses, there you need to handle those including the VAT paid, and you need to book that expense including the VAT. So this is an easy way to put the VAT code on all international expenses. But the setup is to go through all categories and put in this GL reference and this VAT code. And then, as I said, you can make your own subcategories, making it easier for your employees to create or to choose the right category. You must select a parent category. I'll just take this one, and then we have this is not a very relevant example, but just for this one, if I could spell Toyota. So if you always have this rental of Toyotas on this account, then you put in this and the accounting VAT code. If I save this, then this category would be visible in the app. So the employee could now choose this category. This is a way you can build your category tree so that you can have employees choosing the right category with the right GL reference very easily.
So there is a bit of a setup work, but once it's done, it's then it's smooth.
Yeah.
Sailing. And you can change these when you, if you need to, if you get more categories, like if you have like food and beverage. I mean, you suddenly realized, oh, we need to have a staff entertainment account also separate from customer entertainment. So
exactly. We've done, I can just show you these, now these category names are in Danish, but we've done ourselves 3 different categories, one for representation, one for your own food, and one for purchase to the office, because the VAT is different for these 3 categories. So this is
in your expertise, what would you say, how long does it take for a company to get this up and running? Is it a few hours, days?
Yeah, you can, if an hour.
If you're fast.
I think that you need to do some thinking and decision on what categories do you want.
Yeah.
It's very easy for the accounting department to put in the right GL references. They are common knowledge of the accounting department. And it's the same goes with the accounting VAT code. That is also something you already have in your accounting system. So it's not difficult for the accounting department. So but let's give it 1 hour, 3 hours, then everything is done. Yeah. Another place where you need to do just a small thing is that we need an offset account on each booking. That's how the accounting system works. The expense goes to one account, and then in the opposite number goes to the offset account. And in this case, when we've paid with the Eurocard, we actually owe Eurocard the money, and we need to pay them when the invoice will arrive. So yes, please, you want that. So we have a GL reference offset account called Eurocard, and that is used for all normal expenses paid by the Eurocard. That should be fairly easy as well. Then the last place where you need to do some setup is in the cardholder. And let me just take myself. This field can be used for my initials, that the value goes into the file and exported to the accounting system. But I could also have, if you wanted to use a department, I could have sales here. So this value would go into the accounting system as well, and could be a dimension that you booked in your accounting system. Let me just keep it as it is. But this is the offset account on employees, and this is used if I do an out-of-pocket expense, I pay by cash, then I actually need to be reimbursed, and then we do not owe the money to Eurocard because we didn't use the Eurocard. I paid by cash. Then it goes to this account instead. And the same goes for if I withdraw cash from my Eurocard account, then I actually owe the money to the company. So this is what this account is used for. Those 3 areas, the categories, the offset, and the cardholder, that's where you need to do a setup on these GL references. When that is done, then we are able to put on the right accounts on each expense. And then, of course, as I showed you, you need to choose how do you want to do the integration. In Cardlay, we do it by the CSV file, and we then import it into our Navision system. But you have other possibilities as well. So Tove, what did I?
Seems actually not that difficult. We have also a document that will help you along the way. So if you sign up, and we will help you along the way. And if you stumble upon any questions, or if you don't know how to move on, then we're just a quick phone call away. We will help you set this up. So don't worry.
Good. Then I will go back to the, let me just, I'll go back to my presentation here. And I hope that worked again.
Yes, we can see your presentation.
Super. So what I hope I have achieved is I showed you that it was very, very easy for the employee, and it's easy because we capture the data. I only have to put in a comment, secure that the categories are correct, take a picture of receipt, and then I'm done. And
you can also in the app put a project name or customer name or something like that. There is that field also, so you can have that division there.
That's correct. I can even do that. And the big change in process here is I don't, as an employee, do this monthly. I do it on the go. I do it during the month. I don't have a Friday morning from 8 to 12 where I collect all my receipts and take photocopies and put them in one report. That's over. I don't do that anymore. I do it on the go right away. Of course, I can do it in the evening if I want to, or whenever, but the thoughts about this process is do it right when you pay. And then the company gets all expenses in this portal, so they can see everything that the money has been spent on, and they'll get it very quickly. If the employees do it right away, then you'll actually have all expenses in your system very quickly. So you know your outstanding debt, as we talked about last time.
Last time, exactly.
Yes. So you know how much money did our company spend on these expenses. And I could even take it to the accounting system without re-entering any data. I know of many companies where the accounting team, they will manually enter all these data, and not entering them manually, that actually gives much higher data quality. So that's what we showed live. Now I'll just briefly talk a little bit about this bonus because when we do not have Corona times, we will travel. And as you might know or might not know, if you go to Germany on a hotel and pay for that hotel, then you will pay the hotel, including the local German VAT, and the company must book the expense, including this local German VAT. That's an expense they must pay. But it's possible to get that German VAT refunded. And it's possible to get food, restaurant, car rental, taxi, all that types of expenses paid in the country, used in the country. You can get the VAT refunded. And it's actually a substantial amount if you have travel employees traveling. But it's it's not easy to get that refund done. You need to send to each tax authority in the countries a list of expenses where you have to enter the name and the address of the vendor, their number in the country, VAT number, the VAT you paid. You need to have the receipt, and you need to have a certain VAT code, that's called the SCAC down there, that gives an explanation of the type of expense that you've done. And then you need to send this as a claim each quarter. And this simply is just a hassle, and it's a hassle if you have many small expenses, and many companies, they just don't do this. As we know, as many as 80% of the small and medium businesses in Europe, they don't do this. They leave it behind, they don't reclaim this money. So that's what we've built as a bonus solution to this expense management. So you can sign up for what we call Vattax, and then we'll take all the information from the expenses, and we will pack that and send that to the local tax authorities and reclaim that VAT money for you. And we'll do that every quarter, and then we'll sum it up and pay it out to you as soon as we receive the money from the local tax authorities. That takes usually 3 to 4 months to get that back. We know, yeah, Tone, go on.
I'm just saying that I'm a bit cautious for time. We have a few questions coming in, so maybe we could, because I mean, we will get. You will get this presentation if you want it. Put your email address in the chat box there. This is, of course, something that is not very relevant now, but just keep in mind that with a few clicks of a button, you can get money back.
The only thing I need to just emphasize on the VAT refund here is that it's about 10 to 15% of your direct travel costs. So don't include flight, but all the hotel and what you use in the country. Okay, should we take the question now, Tove, before pricing?
There was actually a pricing question there, so we can go on. Maybe I'll take this part if you just click forward. The Eurocard Pro, as I said, the app itself, it's free. So just download it if you have a Eurocard. The expense manager is well, you see there 55 Danish kroner, 75 SEK, 75 NOK, or 7.50 euro, 7 euros 50 cents in the Euro countries per month per card holder. We are invoicing it yearly. So when you start up, you always get 1 full month free. So if you start up in mid-month, you have that mid-month and then the next month for free, and then we will send you an invoice. Today is the last day for our 6 months free offer. So if you sign up today, you will not get an invoice for 6 months. So you can use it, try it out, and just do it, try it out, because it's free. And the Vattax part, well, you will actually not get everything back. We will have to take a bit there because we do a lot of work here. So you get 80% of what you should get. That's 80% more than not doing it at all. And of course, Eurocard cards have their own yearly fees, but that depends on how much payment term you're asking for. So that's also you can find those in eurocard.com. A few more questions. Foreign currencies here. Yes, we do recognize the foreign currencies, so you get the transaction is understand which currency this is.
Yeah, but be aware that you choose the currency you pay in with your Eurocard. So
yes.
Yeah, but we will know the currency you choose.
And always when you are abroad. Yeah, always when you are abroad, use a local currency. You will always get a better rate from us than you get from a local vendor. So always choose local currency. This is a free tip.
Yeah, and another question is how many users can go into the portal, and you decide how many users that can access the portal. So you can create all the managers that you need and all the accountant team members that you need. That does not affect the cost. You decide. You can even have your auditor accessing the portal. You simply you manage all the users there.
Okay.
Yeah, and another question is the situation where we are out eating with, at least that's how I understand the question, we're out eating with customers, and in order to be able to deduct this in our accounting system, we need to know the name and the company, and that needs to go into the common field that the employee needs to give you the names there, or I've seen that done a couple of times. You simply turn the receipt around and you write the names on the back side, and then you take 2 pictures, and you can have multiple pictures attached to the transaction. So you first take a picture of the front side of the expense, and then of the receipt, and then the back side, and then you have the information there. But that's of course something that needs to be done in order to fulfill the requirement from the tax authorities.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So did we have anything more here, or? Yes, exactly.
Yes, how to get started with, so if you put in your email, as we've asked you for a couple of times, so we can send you this presentation. In this slide, there are links to both apply for Eurocard, to sign up for the expense manager, and if you want to do both, you can do that, and you can even sign up for Vattax as well. And as Tove said, it doesn't have any cost to sign up for Vattax, and you can see if you have enough value of that to refund those VAT from the other European countries.
And of course, if you don't want to give us our email address, that's fine. We don't need it at this point. If you don't want us to be in contact with you, just go to eurocard.com, and there are 2 main columns. On the right-hand column is about managing your expenses, It's about smart payment solutions. So you'll find your way there. And expense manager at eurocard.countrycode. That's so .fi.se.dk.no. You can contact us. So your expense manager at eurocard.countrycode. Or just easy, type down your email and we'll get in touch with you.
So let me just see if I can hit the right buttons here. So that's what Tove just said. If there's any more questions, let's just think one came in here. What is the easiest way to resave your receipt? Yeah, good question. Good question. If you buy online,
the question is that when you buy online, what is the easiest way to manage that receipt? So you get it as an email.
Yeah, well, actually, you can from the app. No, sorry. When you open the email on your phone, when you receive this receipt, then you can share the receipt with the app. So you simply push share and then choose the Eurocard Pro app and then choose the expense you want to put it on, and then it's attached. So it's actually a quite easy 3-step thing when you receive the mail with the receipt. And that's yes, plane tickets, hotel tickets, lots of stuff that come in with emails. So that can be done in that way. Just one last comment on hotels and online and VAT, just to let you know. If you purchase your hotels by hotels.com, then there's no VAT refundable. So please think about that when you choose how to purchase your hotels. If you purchase it locally directly from the hotel, then it's possible to get the 10, 15, 20% VAT refunded. It's not possible with a hotel.com purchase. So that might change the picture of is it cheap using hotels.com.
I am writing down these mail addresses because last time when we had this, we fumbled with this. So yeah. I'm just doing double. I'm receiving all of your emails here now. Thank you very much. There is, of course, some holidays starting up like very soon. So we'll try to get all of you guys out this email, this information before. Well, I'm going on holiday on Friday. So, but we'll get back to you. Promise.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So do you have anything else that we didn't cover?
I think we were quite thorough here. Just going back to our previous webinar about why this is so important. It's just to make sure that you guys have full control of everything that's being spent for your company. So make sure that your people have the right tools and give them the right processes, and you will actually be able to focus on the most important things, because this is so much hassle, these receipts. I mean, I've done everything. I've done the staple thing. I have done the Excels. I have actually used the fax machine. So this is just so it would be so good to take in a new system for you guys. So that's basically.
Yeah. One last question. Somebody is already using the Eurocard.
Okay, sorry. There's one question. If we have the other app of Eurocard, do we have to delete it and load the app Pro? Save both, or can we save both? Basically, you don't need both. Eurocard Pro is in the functionality of what you do there with the card and customer service and all that. It's the same in the sense there. It's just that once you use Eurocard Pro, that's connected to the expense manager. So this one you need for that one. And the Eurocard app is used when you are, if you have a travel and expense management system that you have direct file transfers from Eurocard coming into that, like a Busware system or Visma M2. So you only need one. Yeah, you need to find out which one you need. But if you do not today have a expense management system at all, you want Expense Manager, this one, and then you need the Eurocard Pro app.
Yeah.
But if you for some reason want to have them both, they're fine. I have them both on my phone. So.
Yeah, yeah. So
over time, but
if you need the Eurocard Pro app, it's simply go and download it. But
yeah.
And then it's on your phone, and then you need to log in the first time with your personal number, this NIM ID or bank ID, whatever you use in the country, and then we know what cards to attach to you, and then you're up and running.
Yeah. If for some reason in Finland, for example, we are using your social security number connected with the phone number that we have in our systems. If for some reason you can't, it doesn't let you connect, that's because we are then missing your phone number, mobile phone number, and you need to inform us about that. If you get this problem, call customer service, they will help you. If you get any problems with these apps, customer service is always the fastest way to get help.
Yeah. I think definitely time is up. It's 10:46, so thank you everybody for participating, and please reach out to us with any questions or if you need any information. I think we repeated it many times where you can go and seek more information. We will come back to all that's left the email here, and for everybody else and for everybody, have a nice summer, and hopefully
sign up today, last day today for get 6 months free.
Listen to the lady in the top left corner, Tove, and do what she says. Okay, thank you everybody. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.